Reprogram your mind for wealth in 30 days by stepping into the timeless, mystical, and profoundly transformative prosperity teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn, who taught that wealth is not something you chase in the outer world, but something you command from the inner world by aligning thought, imagination, vibration, and spoken word with divine supply. And when you understand that your subconscious mind is the spiritual workshop where every financial reality is shaped, you begin to realize that money, opportunities, abundance, and success do not respond to hard work alone, but to the energetic frequency from which you think, act, speak, and expect your good. So imagine yourself entering a 30-day journey where each day is a conscious reconstruction of thought patterns, a deliberate shift in identity, and a powerful alignment with the prosperity version of yourself, because Florence Scovel Shinn explained that your word is your wand, meaning every phrase you repeat becomes instruction to the infinite intelligence that governs supply. And when you speak words of wealth, abundance, ease, expectancy, and divine timing, the universe rearranges itself to fulfill your decree. So day one begins with a dissolving of old limiting beliefs such as money is hard, wealth is slow, success is for others, or my circumstances control my life, because none of these beliefs are spiritual facts. They are illusions created through repetition, and illusions can be dissolved through new repetition. And once you refuse to give power to your old story, you free your energy to create a new one. So on day two, you declare, I now prepare for my abundance, because preparation creates a magnetic pull for prosperity. And on day three, you activate the law of assumption by imagining yourself already wealthy. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now, holding the feelings, confidence, and inner certainty of a person who naturally attracts money, opportunities, synchronicities, and favor. And on day four, you speak the prosperity affirmations Florence Scovel Shinn taught. I have a magical work in a magical way. I give magical service for magical pay. Because these words vibrationally align you with effortless income, inspired action, and divine channels. And on day five, you clear resistance by forgiving yourself, others, and any financial shame you have accumulated. Because resentment and guilt are magnetic barriers that block the flow of good, but forgiveness breaks the pattern instantly and lifts the mind into a higher frequency of receiving. And on day six, you begin practicing gratitude, not for what you have, but for what is spiritually yours, because Florence Scovel Shinn emphasizes that everything you desire already exists in the invisible realm, and gratitude pulls it into visibility. And on day seven, you commit to speaking only words that match your desired reality, understanding that every complaint, fear, or lack-based statement reprograms your subconscious backward, while every confident, aligned, wealth-focused statement expands your prosperity field. And on day eight, you master imagination, because imagination is creation, and whatever you imagine consistently must eventually materialize. So you visualize your wealth scenes with emotional detail, and on day nine, you embody the identity of the wealthy version of you by adjusting your posture, decisions, choices, and expectations, because identity is the strongest manifesting force in the universe. And on day 10, you take inspired action, actions that feel guided, natural, exciting, or intuitive, because divine ideas lead to divine supply, and you trust that the universe supports any action rooted in inspiration, not desperation. And on day 11, you rewrite your money beliefs by telling a new story about yourself, saying things like, money comes to me easily, I am aligned with limitless wealth, and prosperity is my divine birthright. And on day 12, you commit to mental discipline by redirecting every negative thought into a neutral or empowering one, because your dominant thoughts shape your dominant vibration, and your dominant vibration shapes your dominant reality. And on day 13, you adopt the abundance mindset by celebrating the success of others, because celebration reflects belief in universal supply, while jealousy reflects belief in shortage, and shortage mindset blocks manifestation. So celebrate widely, generously, expansively, and sincerely, because celebration expands your receiving channels. And on day 14, you practice detachment, trusting that your good is coming without chasing, forcing, or worrying, because worry is faith in failure, but trust is faith in divine timing, and trust accelerates manifestation. And on day 15, you train your mind to expect miracles, because expectation is a spiritual magnet. And when you expect money, unexpected income, surprising opportunities, and miraculous breakthroughs, the universe sends them, often in ways you never imagined. And on day 16, you align yourself with the energy of overflow by affirming there is always more where that came from, because Florence Scovel Shinn insisted that God's supply is limitless, infinite, and immediate, and limitation exists only in the mind, never in divine law. And on day 17, you shift your self-concept to someone who naturally receives big money, bold opportunities, and divine favor, because when your self-concept expands, your life must expand with it. And on day 18, you embody gratitude again, but deeper. Gratitude for what has not yet arrived, but is guaranteed because your vibration has matched it. And on day 19, you revise your past money memories by imagining that every loss, delay, or failure was actually a blessing or redirection, because revision changes the subconscious emotional charge, and when you heal the past, you free the future. And on day 20, you declare powerful affirmations like "Infinite Spirit opens the way for my immediate blessings," because these affirmations call forth divine action. And on day 21, you align with ease, knowing that wealth does not require suffering, but flow, intuition, aligned choices, and spiritual certainty. And on day 22, you practice receiving by allowing compliments, opportunities, help, and unexpected gifts, because receiving is a skill, and people who struggle with money often struggle with receiving, so strengthening your receiving ability strengthens your wealth magnetism. And on day 23, you commit to high-frequency emotions: joy, gratitude, confidence, peace, inner knowing, because these emotions energetically match prosperity. And on day 24, you detach completely from the how, because the universe handles the how. Your job is to align with the end result, not micromanage the process. And on day 25, you imagine your desired lifestyle nightly before sleeping, because the subconscious is most programmable in the drifting state between wake and sleep. And the scenes you impress before sleeping transform into your dominant reality. And on day 26, you eliminate scarcity thoughts by catching them early and replacing them with abundance truths. And on day 27, you act like the wealthy version of yourself, not through overspending, but through confidence, clarity, decisiveness, and valuing your time and energy. And on day 28, you trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, because divine timing is never late, and prosperity arrives the moment you are vibrationally ready. And on day 29, you celebrate your transformation, knowing that your consciousness has shifted permanently. And on day 30, you stand in your new identity and declare, "I am now aligned with infinite wealth. Everything I desire flows to me now. My prosperity is inevitable." And with this declaration, you seal your 30-day reprogramming, because the version of you that began the journey no longer exists, and the version of you that stands here now is vibrationally aligned with abundance, wealth, divine supply, miracle money, and endless opportunities. And this identity will continue to attract prosperity for the rest of your life. For as Florence Scovel Shinn taught, nothing stands between you and your highest good but your own mind. And now your mind has been reprogrammed, elevated, expanded, and aligned with the frequency of wealth. So the universe has no choice but to respond, rearrange, deliver, and overflow your life with everything that matches your new belief system, because when you change the inner world, the outer world must obey.